The Girl Who Dreamed Beyond the Hills, Part 3. Ada clutched the essay competition flyer as if it were a lifeline. This was her chance, the opportunity to rewrite her destiny. For days, she poured her heart into the essay, crafting each sentence with the weight of her struggles and dreams. She wrote about the girl from Umuoka who dared to defy fate, who walked miles for knowledge and fought against hunger, loneliness, and ridicule. When she finally submitted it, hope swelled in her chest like a bird ready to take flight. The wait was agonizing. Each morning, she scanned the school notice board, hoping to see her name among the finalists. Then, one crisp afternoon, the results were posted. She pushed through the crowd, heart hammering. Her eyes darted across the list once, twice. Her name was not there. The world tilted. Disbelief clawed at her throat. She had been so sure. Had she not worked hard enough? Had her story not been good enough? Tears burned in her eyes, but she refused to let them fall. Instead, she forced herself to walk away, ignoring the excited chatter of the winners. That night, she lay awake, staring at the ceiling, anger and frustration twisting inside her. Had everything been for nothing? The late nights, the hunger, the endless struggle, was it all just a cruel joke? Days passed, and the disappointment festered. She felt invisible again, like the village girl who didn't belong. Doubt whispered in her mind, maybe they were right. Maybe she was just a poor girl chasing impossible dreams. Then, the twist she never expected came. One evening, as she scrubbed the classroom floors after school, she overheard two teachers talking. "I still can't believe they gave the award to the principal's nephew," one muttered. Politics. That village girl's essay was the best, but you know how these things work. No connections, no chance. Ada froze. Her hands trembled around the mop handle. She had lost, not because she wasn't good enough, but because the world was unfair. A new fire ignited within her. She had two choices: accept defeat or fight harder. The city had already tried to break her. If she gave up now, she would prove them right. Just as she resolved to push forward, another challenge struck like a thunderbolt. Her father fell gravely ill. A letter from home arrived one afternoon, and as soon as she saw the familiar handwriting of her younger brother, fear clutched her heart. The news was worse than she had imagined. Her father was too weak to walk, the farm was failing, and her mother struggled alone. They needed money, urgently. Ada's mind spiraled. She barely had enough to feed herself. How could she help them? Her job cleaning classrooms paid little, and she was already stretched thin. The thought of her father suffering back in Umuoka nearly broke her. For the first time, she considered leaving school, returning home to help her family. Then, a desperate idea formed. She had heard whispers about students who made money working in the city's busy market. Some carried loads for traders, others hawked goods under the scorching sun. It was risky, dangerous even, but she had no choice. That weekend, Ada went to the market. The streets buzzed with voices, sellers shouting, buyers bargaining. She approached a food vendor, offering to help carry goods in exchange for a small wage. The woman, noticing her thin frame and school uniform, hesitated but eventually agreed. From that day on, Ada spent weekends running errands in the market, dodging ruthless traders and braving long hours under the sun. She saved every coin she earned, sending as much as she could back home. But hardship wasn't done testing her. One evening, while heading back to her hostel after a long shift, she was followed. She felt it before she saw them, two men, lurking in the shadows. Her heart pounded as she quickened her pace, gripping her bag tight. Then, suddenly, rough hands yanked her back. "Where do you think you're going, schoolgirl?" a voice sneered. Panic shot through her. She struggled, kicking and thrashing, but they were stronger. Just as fear threatened to consume her, a loud whistle pierced the air. A group of traders from the market, people she had worked for, came rushing toward her. The men, startled, fled into the night. Ada collapsed to the ground, shaking. The traders helped her up, scolding her for walking alone so late. That night, as she lay in bed, reality hit her. She could have lost everything. The city was a battlefield, but she refused to surrender. With newfound determination, she searched for other ways to rise. The essay competition had been a loss, but it would not be her last chance. She began looking for more scholarship opportunities, determined to find another way to break free from the cycle of hardship. She would not stop dreaming beyond the hills. The Girl Who Dreamed Beyond the Hills, Part 4, coming soon. Will Ada find another way to rise despite the injustice and new challenges? Or will the weight of disappointment and danger pull her deeper into despair? Stay tuned for the next chapter.